Good morning. It's morning somewhere, right? I'm Brett with Video Hot Rod, and this is another tutorial for you. Now before you were shooting in selfie mode, which meant that you could easily move the camera the way you wanted and have yourself in the center or off to the side a little bit. However, now with someone else shooting, you have to kind of change that composition a little bit. So today I'm going to discuss proper distance and keeping the nose in the center of the shot, and also a concept called rule of thirds. Keep in mind that these concepts really only apply to landscape mode as opposed to portrait mode. They don't really translate over to portrait mode very easily. Also, this is your A-roll shot. So with your B-roll shot, you can modify it and change it up quite a bit. How far away should the camera be from the subject? Well, that depends on the subject and the subject's actions. If someone's working on an engine, you're going to have a wider shot to be able to capture all the action, as opposed to somebody doing makeup or working on a face mask. Remember, this is your A-roll shot, so don't move it around to capture any sort of action. Save that for your B-roll shot. Don't move the camera closer just to capture any sort of action. Instead, redo the action and capture it close up with your B-roll shots. Back when I was working for news production, I was always taught to put the nose in the center of the shot, or at least pointing towards the center of the shot. If the subject is turning towards the right, or if they are turning towards the left, I was taught to have that empty space so that their nose was pointing towards that empty space in the shot. This works really well for interviews, but what if the subject is talking directly to the camera? Well, that's a little bit of a different consideration. Oftentimes you would want the subject to be in the center. However, depending on what is going on, you might want to move that shot and frame it up a little bit differently. So for example, if I was building a playhouse over to my left, you would want the shot framed in such a way so that you would be able to see that playhouse being built. This off-center framing brings up an important principle called rule of thirds. Imagine two lines that divide the screen into three equal vertical parts. Now imagine two more lines that divide the screen horizontally into equal parts. Now, place your subject along one of those vertical lines and your subject's eyes along the upper horizontal line. And if you can place the rest of your materials along the lower horizontal line, you'll be able to follow what is called the rule of thirds. Personally, I feel the rule of thirds is very pleasing to the eye, but it's something to experiment with and decide if you like that style of framing. Now that you've learned the proper distance for your camera, how to keep the nose in the center, and how to follow rule of thirds, you should be able to put those three together and make some nicer, more interesting shots that are pleasing to the viewers. I'm Brett with Video Hot Rod. This was another tutorial for you. Send that footage to me and let's make something awesome.